Good morning, good morning. It's time to get started. Okay. Go ahead and minimize that. Get the chat up. Seven o'clock. Let's see if we get anything on watch. Okay, spreadsheet works good. Yep. Should be good there. Everything is a go. We got green lights. So BNAI. Wow. What the heck? What? That's crazy. Okay, yeah, so we're definitely in the midst of a hot market right now. Seeing some crazy, crazy moves. Interestingly, other than those two stocks, it doesn't seem like there's anything really crazy happening. Good morning, Skivon. Yeah, I think really right now it's just BNAI and BATL. It's like seem like the obvious two to keep an eye on. Wow, so BNAI had a huge flush here from $80 down to 50, so $30 loss. I was watching BNAI live on Friday, had no buying power left. Oh, that sucks, man. I had no idea about this move. I'm actually kind of blown away it moved this much. This is a crazy, crazy move. Wow. Maybe it's SMX 2.0? How's SMX doing? Are we back below 10 yet? No, it's still hovering. I haven't checked on this stock in a while. Yeah, it looks like it could just be on the back end. Interesting how the bleeding kind of stopped here, which is a bit interesting. Yeah. Yeah, it's at like 18. Yeah. Well, I hope you're all having a good morning. Hope you're not buried in snow. Over where I'm at, we just had a huge amount of snow hit, so that's fun. I'm not super interested in joining this, just because this is already super, super extended. It could keep going, of course, but this stock, I'm familiar with it. This stock has a history of rugging really, really hard. They've done it dozens of times over the last few years, so I am particularly hesitant to jump on this bandwagon. But I will at least keep an eye on it for an opportunity setup. Definitely going to be reduced size if I do trade it. But yeah, $5 to $6. I mean, it's doing a good move and on a million shares, so this could just be a short squeeze situation because I'm sure there's shorts that have been attacking this heavily. $480 to $572 on BATL. If you're saying you traded that, good stuff. That's, I mean, I'm assuming you're just saying that's the range of the move here, but like, if you traded that, good stuff. I would not have taken it. Okay, seeing very high volume. Volume is still stair-stepping up here. So we'll see. I mean, it could just be people getting squeezed out. It could. This does feel very squeeze in nature, but I'm just so worried because this is so high up at this point. Really, you traded it. Good stuff. That's a very impressive hit. Yeah, it's still holding well. Yeah, good morning, Marcel. Sorry I didn't see you there. Yeah, also good morning to everybody tuning in here. If you could do me a favor and hit the like button, help get this out to more people, I would appreciate it. Pretty close to 500 subs, so we might actually hit it soon here. The growth has been pretty accelerated ever since the warrior trading video. All right, so potentially first red candle. Curious to see how this will perform. We have reduced volume relative to this on this pull down. Let's see how it plays out. This is a strong profile for me to get involved with, but I'm just really worried because of how extended it is. Yeah, 660 down to 6. What was a 20 cent, 15, 20 cent bounce here. Like button equals exponential gains. Exactly. See, you get it. Okay, so we had around a 15 cent bounce. The volume profile has dropped off over these last multiple candles, but still quite elevated here compared to lower levels. Yeah, I'm just going to keep being patient here. And even if you look at it from this angle, I mean, it's like, if you're buying into weakness way up here, it's scary. Okay, continuing to see this lower volume on these pushes down. Now, on low volume on this initial push down, the 15 cent bounce was hit very hard here. Oh, it doesn't actually hit that hard. This is lower volume. Good morning, Larry. 585. Very nice bounce here. About a 40 cent bounce. There was good opportunity there. Okay, so we had a 1 minute breakout here. Appears to have maybe failed, but we'll see. We'll see how this 1 minute new high plays out. I don't know why, but I'm still just expecting a massive just rug pull right here. This just feels so extended to me. Right? Like a safer buying area to me would be around low fives. You got this support here. I mean, daily's non-existent, really. You kind of have some, like here on the daily at 370s. So if we're going to see this go all the way back to like 370s, yeah, that kind of matches support. Yeah, filled the gap from October of last year. Yeah. They have been kind of teasing buyouts like a dozen or so times over the last several years. And then they would just keep canceling the buyouts. That was what was creating these huge like gaps up and then drops. Like if you look at the last few years of the stock, you'll see that it did do this a lot. Take a look, see if it's actually like you can see this very suspicious price action. This is them just saying, hey, we're doing a buyout. Just kidding, actually. Hey, we're doing a buyout. Just kidding, actually. So they did this, like I said, they did this like a dozen times over the last few years. Very strange behavior. I still can't believe BNAI went to 50. I mean, it went to 80, really. So we're seeing volume continue to decline. Still quite elevated. In terms of another leg up, I do like to see that we're not seeing huge selling pressure here relative to the move up. Could indicate that shorts are not attacking aggressively, but we will see. Could have an ABCD pattern coming here too, right? The first 1 minute high failed. We kind of have this critical level here now at around the 620s. Whether it breaks out from here and then goes back to high of day, or if we're just going to break down here. I think this level's critical though. GXAI, not really moving that much. Okay. Okay, some volume coming through here. Yeah, I don't really like buying here. It could break out and go up. But I feel like we're going to see a very, very big move, right? In the next few minutes for this candle, or for this chart. This is setting up for an explosion in a direction. Okay, breaking down. I'm really watching the volume here for this breakdown. You was watching the Candyman as well. Yeah, I tuned in. I've been checking in on him every now and then. There's a couple YouTubers I've been watching on the side. OCG's breaking out really hard here. Wow. Okay, yeah, we are in the midst of a hot market. These moves are very crazy. Doesn't appear to have news. If there is, it's not updating for me. Chinese stock, no news. I'm immediately skeptical. Yeah, looking at the daily too, this had a very brutal rug pull. And it looks like they've reverse split as well. Yeah, like even just, oh yeah, this is rough. Love float, right? But Chinese stock with no news. I mean, in a hot market, it could squeeze, I suppose. Right, this on the daily, this is very beaten up. Seeing some volume coming in, right? 400,000, 300,000. So volume's good. For this float, the volume is very good. Mm. Yeah, very high volume on this red candle. Okay, broke to 60. Volume was kind of light on that breakdown. This looks like a decent bounce point, but again, just the no news and the company. This would be a much higher risk. I'd much prefer a lower price. The ATL still holding up very well. Yeah, even pre-market, this thing this has been moving upward. Yeah, just giving back the entire move. Yeah, so 45 was the low. Yeah, I didn't want to get in there though. Did I check BATL? Yes, I still have it on a side chart. Yeah, that was the main one I was looking at before this started popping up. Okay, I mean, did get a nice 20, 30 cent bounce here, so it did bounce in its defense. I was really worried because of this slow incline over the morning. I thought this might have been a rougher sell-off. I mean, this is already a pretty rough sell-off, giving back 80% of the move in 4 minutes, but this was certainly a high-risk trade. And I mean, if anyone was trying to buy for a curl here, they got absolutely slaughtered. Yeah, my order was at 238, by the way. So below this candle was 43. So I was 5 cents off of an entry. I was actually pretty close in hindsight. Hindsight, still 7.5%. Since I had 2 red trades on Friday, also because there were a couple things that I didn't think I did well enough on them, I decided to just keep it at 7.5% today. If today goes good, I'm going to size it up. If it doesn't go good, then I'm going to keep it where it is. Yeah, this has a higher float, though. No, I'm genuinely impressed that this thing has recovered. I thought this was going straight back down. Once I saw how much this had pulled back, no news on it too, I'm just thinking, man, this thing on the daily is gapped up so hard, this thing could run all the way back to 2 or 180 even. Yeah, BATL, it might make a second leg. We'll have to see. get in here though. I hate it, but like I would probably only be entering here if we went to like 220s. And it's so far from that right now. Guess maybe 230s if it's super light volume, because this is decreased volume. Yeah, I could see 230s. If this with this volume profile, 230s is more reasonable. Okay, seeing volume pick up though on that breakdown. Not quite what I'm looking for. Yeah, this feels like it's going a lot lower. Okay, higher volume than this as well. All right, we'll see. Do have an order out, but I have moved it down because this volume was higher. ATL looks like it attempted a new high. Oof, nasty rejection on BATL. I'm gonna keep this one on main watch, but BATL was also pulling back very rough. It went straight to 6 before bouncing. What is that? That's like a... It's like almost an 80-cent drop right there. In the matter of, what, 30 seconds? That's a rough one. Okay, so this one is low as 34. Bounced up to 44, so you could have got 10 cents there. Now, just considering how high this volume was, this was consolidation, essentially. This is too risky to buy. To me, I'm really looking at like 215, 220 now. Somewhere around here. I'm going to swap to BATL because this is bouncing more than I wanted it to. The volume didn't really match either. Okay, so we're seeing clear higher volume than this consolidation period. This could be backside. Yes, it's so far from any support on the daily. 370 is so far from here. Yeah, this is the only real support. $5 to 480. You obviously have this one as well, but this was approached way too strong. Seems too risky. especially with this elevated volume. Really feels like distribution. I'm price too aggressive. What? I was on the wrong stock. Hey, OCG continuing to bleed down too, so it did end up rolling over. Yeah, both of these stocks really just having trouble. NAI moving up again. Yeah, the problem is that I want to get in here, but this volume's just so high. This really looks like potential distribution. I'd have to go with the safer lower end approach. Yeah, the risk is just too high right now. Yeah, very interesting how BANI, though, has recovered. It's the next SMX. OCG is still pushing lower. You've had some nice bounces on it, right? This was a nice bounce. This was an okay bounce. So you've had some bounces. The ATL looks like it bounced pretty well here. Yeah, 36-cent bounce. I just didn't want to buy into it, though. This final push down on this high volume didn't look safe. This is significant volume. This is like $500,000 a minute. Yeah, CD pushing lower. This was just a straight up pump and dump. This really is impressive, though, how much these stocks are moving. I know I keep harping on that, but it's very clear here. So, hard selling pressure here into light volume on this final push. And then on this sudden burst down, there was really high volume. My read was this was continued bearishness, but maybe because this volume was so light, this created a discrepancy, perhaps? There could be one read on it. This isn't very clean, though. This volume kind of just dropped off and then suddenly spiked again. Kind of made it difficult for me to read it. Yeah, we passed the half hour. No new stocks on the scanners yet. We'll see if we get anything. Even after this pretty big pullback, like, you could argue it's still in some kind of uptrend. Do I trade like Ross? I would say that I do not trade like Ross. No. No, he's usually buying, right? He's usually trying to look for moves like this where you're buying on the front. I'm usually looking for more deep pullbacks. So now me and him, I mean, we trade similar stocks. We just trade differently, right? But yeah, I'm sure the stocks that I'm looking at, he's probably looking at as well, but for different reasons. Which is fine. Whatever works for people, right? Nice little uptrending resistance here. Ascending support, ascending resistance. Interesting that it bounced here and didn't even come down to this support area. Maybe it was just too extended by this point. GXAI starting to get more momentum to it. Although this was mostly dead volume here. The main volume is only starting to come now at this breakout. Yeah, no news on this spike either. Very significant volume inflow. I was really not expecting this much to come in. Curious how this volume's going to shape up. Very impressive move. I even this, when we were having this initial spike of volume, like I just didn't think this was going to resolve into anything. Okay, we're now making a new high from the yesterday break, or the Friday breakout. So it looks like we broke above it by a few cents and then pulled back below. 500,000, geez, 750,000. That's such high volume, even relative to this. All right, we're at daily resistance from an older period. If price rejects off of here, I'm going to lose it. But no, a million shares. What is the float on this? 7 million. Should definitely keep this on watch now. Yeah, it's earned a on watch spot. BATL starting to roll over. Possible that people are pivoting from BATL to GXAI. OCG also experiencing a bigger move down. Yeah, but it's high volume. This could just break hard. Good morning, Avter. Good morning. No, I mean, crazy move, but I gotta respect it. It's performed well. It was a bit cheaper than I wanted to buy anyway, down in the 140s. If we break to maybe like 220, 230, and then we try a breakdown to here, that'd be more ideal. So strange that it's doing this on no news. Very strange. Okay, so we had it top out here, 190s. Suppose you could look at like 40s, 30s for a bounce if it breaks down all the way, but alternatively, where would you even buy for a bounce? Maybe here? The problem is there's no news, so there's no reason for this not to just immediately roll over. This went to 170. Yeah, we're continuing to see super elevated volume in this area. Perhaps someone bought this dip. The fact that this bounced is interesting, despite this huge volume. This breakout. GXAI sales agreement with HC Wainwright on Friday. If that happened, then yeah, it's not being reported here. Huge volume. Right? Even again, for like the volume or the float of this stock, this is insanely high volume. It could have been the case, right? There could have just been a very big buyer that stepped in here, which is why this recovered despite this million shares that flowed in. Daily, we have resistance at around just under $3. So that'll be, if we get that high, that'll be something to watch for a potential ceiling. The AI might be moving. This could be a sympathy move because GXAI was an AI stock. Yeah, there's no news on this either. So this could just be pure sympathy. Interesting how we had movement here the day before this. Yeah, 100,000. So, thought maybe this could be a sympathy move, but just got hammered hard. I want to see if this makes one final push down. It's a lower float, so it can be pushed pretty hard. Yeah, the fact that this was ranging prior morning too suggests someone was planning this. ARAI. Another AI stock. This one seems like it's moving better. I'll give it a try here. The other stock, ARAI, is doing well. This one follows the same name. Anyone buying here around 240s just got absolutely destroyed. ARAI, quick scalp, good stuff. All right, out there. Yeah, my main thing was I was looking at the daily chart. We're near the lows. There's no news on this push down. And because we've had 3 stocks that seem to have this AI theme that moved, I thought that was enough strength. What was the high? 17. Yeah, I got 12 as a fill. And my entry was pretty good. 205. Not the greatest. I was about 6 cents from the bottom, but it's a decent entry. Good morning, Michael. Oh, at least we're on the board now. So at the lows. I think that was a decent setup. Volatility wasn't actually that volatile. I mean, I guess the first minute it was, but after that it kind of slowed down. Okay, so nice little winner there. See how this responds here. If we get low volume like this and we break to like 185, it be interested in re-entering. It's a nice break there, but the volume is increased. I want to see 180s. If the volume was still low on this breakdown, like if we didn't have almost 20,000, this would be a buy for me. But that little spike of volume is problematic. GXAI seems to be pulling back quite a bit now. I mean, it recovered too, in its defense. I mean, to be fair, this only has a 3 million share float. 20,000 volume, dropping this basically 25 cents. Maybe this was a slight overreaction. I was concerned because this consolidated, and honestly, I'm still not wanting to buy here. But maybe I'm overvaluating how bad that flush was. This volume is still quite low relative to this action. Don't think I'm a buyer here, but worth maybe making a note that this was a slight overreaction by me. And, okay, to be fair too, I wasn't anticipating getting in another trade, so I was kind of forced to make an instant decision. And defaulting to extra conservative when you don't have a lot of time seems like a good methodology. Yeah, now that it's consolidated here too, I'd really want low 180s to high 170s. I'm gonna pivot to GXAI here for a moment. So this support, or this support level, seems like it was pretty well respected, right? You broke through it, reclaimed it, and then made the move. Then on this initial breakdown, it bounced very nicely here. So this level is still being supported and respected. I just realized my P&L for the day is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1234. It's a sign. All right, we got 5 minutes till the top of the hour. Mostly just sitting tight. I still have STAI on watch if it does want to do a sudden new leg down, though I'm not really expecting it. The odds of that are probably pretty low. I should keep ARAI on watch as well here. It's a sign of exponential games. Exactly. Exactly. It is exponential, right? I might be able to trade one more share tomorrow with that money. That's exponential. That could be an extra 2 cents a profit. Or no, actually, it would probably be like 8 cents a profit. Yeah. So we're seeing descending volume. We've seen this for 6 minutes now. Seems very orchestrated. Yeah, this had no news too. We've had 3 stocks move that are AI themed, and none of them have had news. And for STAI, which rolled over, but STAI had very strange price action. I want to check the last 10 days. I want to see if this price action, if it's been, it hasn't. So STAI normally is dead during the morning or after hours. But today, on the day that AI stocks moved, there was suspicious price action before this. Strange. Yeah, GXAI moving. Also, ARAI, big flush on this too. So it seems like these are inversely related, which seems strange because you'd think the AI theme would make them both run. Dude, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm just kind of blown away. Again, no news on these moves. No news. This is pure momentum. Likely a short squeeze. And again, this level has been acting like as a critical level this whole time. Right? This initial momentum struggled once it hit this line. And it held here and then surged from here. So this level is proving to still be relevant, even like a year after I made it. Very interesting. STAI did end up breaking out. Perhaps because GXAI did. ARAI did recover. I considered trying to buy this dip. I felt like something was off. I was kind of confused why there was this discrepancy in my head. I just assumed something was being manipulated in some way, and I didn't really want to jump on it because of that. Maybe not the best excuse, though, because simply saying, well, I had a gut feeling, it's not very objective. Yeah, all 3 of the AI stocks, they're all doing weird things. Interesting. That's very interesting. You got to tell him that. You should tell him that I think it's very interesting that he said that. Whoa, ARAI. Secondary offering, perhaps? This is an insane flush. I don't want to jump on this. I want to wait. Yeah, I don't want to... It can be really, really tempting to just jump on that at the first sign. Okay, it did end up recovering. It looks like this was just a fake out. I didn't want to risk it. I've had it happen where it starts flushing like that, and I jump in without seeing the news, and then the news pops up 10 seconds later saying dilution. Very interesting, though. CRWG. I'll go ahead and check that. Straight up. Wow. Welcome to the hot market, folks. It's a hot market day. It might be winter, but it's hot. Not even any news. There's not even any news on this. I was like, okay, what kind of news would make this move? And there's nothing. Okay. So we're literally just having things pumping. Fair enough. I want to see something that moves with news now, because if all these stocks are moving without news, what kind of move would we see with news? Yeah, and a million too. What is the float CRWG? It's 29 million. And it did this? UFG. Could be doing something as well. No news on this one either, but this is surprisingly high volume. This is a very weird morning. Something feels... My intuition is telling me something weird is going on today. This isn't normal. Hmm. $5 million float. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. I was looking at shares outstanding. Okay, if it's a 5 million float, that's very different. Yeah, that's the thing with Thinkorswim. They only give you the outstanding shares. They don't give you the actual float. So I'm always taking the more conservative interpretation, which is just assume the entire outstanding shares are tradable. But yeah, if it's only 5 million, at least it's a little more reasonable. Think traders are having FOMO from BNAI. Yeah, I agree, Skivon. Yeah. This definitely feels like a FOMO situation. Right? The fact that you had GXAI and then other stocks just kind of popping with it. This whole thing feels like a FOMO. Yeah, GXAI is still just running. Man, why would AI just suddenly plunge 50 cents out of nowhere? That's crazy to me. Go ahead and make my quick top of the hour shout out. If you guys are new here and you like what you see, I would urge you to subscribe. Almost at 500 subscribers, just need 5 more. So if you're new and you like the stream, then leave a like and maybe subscribe. All right, pitch done for the hour. All right, so yeah, we're having a nice curl here. I mean, I'll be honest, I just don't trust it. Like, intrinsic value-wise, this is popping up on no news. Huge volume. In terms of a pure value perspective, there's no way I can touch it here. In terms of momentum, you could have an argument that this is just a hot market and anything that moves, moves. So we'll see how this 1 minute breakout pans out. CRWU also moving. This is related to CRWG, I suppose. Yeah, okay, they're related. So this is just moving because the other one's moving. Hmm. Yeah, this one's very weird to me. Looking at the daily, like, this is an insane flush. So out of the three stocks, at least ARAI had news that drove the initial move. Perhaps this sparked the GXAI squeeze, which in turn refueled this move. I suppose that could be a possibility. I went into this thinking, because I didn't realize that ARAI had news. I didn't consider that. But yeah, maybe it's possible ARAI had news and was moving. People wanted to FOMO in. GXAI got the tiniest bit of volume, and then it just spiraled. That's a possibility. No, but that doesn't explain STAI, though. Well, okay, no. STAI moved after hours Friday, the same time that ARAI moved. That's why STAI moved. Gotcha. Okay. No, so it wasn't random. It was a sympathy play with STAI for ARAI. That's what it was. Okay, so it was not random. Got it. And I guess GXAI... How did this one move on Friday? Yeah, this one also was a sympathy play. Okay. And I guess the sympathy plays just led into this because BNAI moved? Right? Another AI stock by name. So just anything with AI. Literally, that's the thing. If it has AI in the ticker, it moves. I guess that's our theme. CRWG, just kind of grinding now. 5 million's a bit higher for a float. So maybe that's why it's moving a bit slower. Oh, no, yeah. The level 2, you said 5 million float, but just looking at the level 2, this level 2 is extremely thick. Yeah. Maybe they diluted recently or something, but I'm gonna check that actually. I suspect they've diluted recently. CRWV. Okay. So CRWG is just a 2x inverse of this, or 2x leverage of this. So we weren't trading the actual underlying. And this has news. Yeah, NVIDIA invests $2 billion. Okay, so this makes some more sense why it's moving slower now. Even if there's only 5 million shares, what's important is how many shares the underlying has. So that's why it's moving slower. Yeah, now I don't even want to touch this, knowing that it's not even the underlying. Put out a quick poll here. Man, the Canon's Cabin GXAI set sail. Take a look at it in a moment. I don't have it pulled up at the moment. Yeah, no, GXAI's done amazing. I mean, the sad thing is too, is I still look at this and I'm like, man, this is nothing compared to BNAI, right? So, yeah, we definitely seem to be in some sort of theme of AI related stocks doing well. So with that said, I'm surprised STAI is not doing better. Perhaps it's being held back or something. Or maybe it will break out at some point later. I'm actually going to make a note of that. Let's see. Check back on STAI tomorrow. Just want to be able to look back at it, see if it actually did end up moving or if it stayed suppressed. And even BATL was holding up well. Right, I mean, it did have this pretty nasty pullback, but the bleeding has kind of stopped and it's gone sideways here. Yeah, I think I'm just chilling here. I don't really see anything I'm going to be immediately involved with. Let's see if we get a stronger pullback. I don't really know if I want to mess with GXAI though. If I'm buying it, I'm gonna be buying it like 190. That's pretty cheap. I mean, surprising. Dude, some of you guys gotta be lying, okay? Look. What is it? It's like 90 or 95% of people lose money. How are we having it that every day half the people in chat are green? And we just seem to always have a majority. Not so, well, I shouldn't say you guys are lying, but maybe there's some sort of bias going on. Like if someone loses, they just get off, versus if they're green, or no trades, they stay. I mean, hey, I'm happy that you guys are making money. I shouldn't say that I'm unhappy about that. I'm just surprised. It doesn't match what I would expect. You just checked Candyman livestream. He has 4 trades open and away without leave at the monitor. Well, is he like 4 trades open? Like, you mean he's like in 4 trades and he's just not at the screen? We are Shrek traders. Hope he has caught us well. EVTV, is this a cheap stock? Yeah, but I mean, it's moving. Looks like it has news. Beginner's luck. It could be variance, right? I mean, it seems like the general trend is that even from across maybe 10 sample sizes of me tracking your guys' results, it seems like it's about 50-50, which I would think wouldn't be the case. Who was Candyman? I definitely would at least shout him out. So Candyman, he's another trader. He seems like he's been in the game about as long as I have. He's actually been, so I've been only day trading, quote unquote, for about 3 years. I could be misspeaking, so if I'm wrong, then don't criticize me. But I believe he's been trading for around 8 years. So Candyman, he's got some skin in the game. And he seems like a nice guy. I've been on his stream a couple times. I definitely like him. I would definitely recommend checking him out if you haven't already. If it makes you feel any better, I was big red on Friday. Four stocks on watch list, no money for 4 trades open. When you say open, what do you mean? Do you mean that he's in a position, or are you saying that he has orders to fill? So this thing is just running. Yeah, anything like this had news. Yeah, this thing's just running. Maybe I should have taken a small position on this, just because I was really waiting to see how stock would react that had news, and this is the first one we've had that's reacted with news, and it's just gone straight up. Over 4 minutes. And this is a former runner too, so honestly, maybe I should have jumped on this one. Holding 3 shares of BNAI at 58. I was going to say 3 shares isn't much, but BNAI, okay, that's a little different. Going back to its levels. Yeah, daily we're looking at like $4.50 to $5 as resistance. Where are we at now? We're at 290. Yeah, so there's a little bit of resistance starting here around 3. After 3, you're not really seeing anything until 350. Dude, this is insane volume. Like, what? This is crazy volume. GXAI failing here. Not surprising at all. It looks like we're experiencing rotation. Right? It looks like everyone's pivoting to EVTV. That's my read. Candyman took the EVTV snipe. $200 moving average at 293. I mean, this has gone straight up, right? It's probably up 100%. Only 45%. Okay. No, okay. This is closer to $2 than 1. Okay. Still up quite a lot, though. Environmental vehicles under AI infrastructure program. I mean, yeah. Okay, so you have a hot market. You have a stock that has a history of running, low float, AI headline, bam, to the races. Makes sense to me. Now, how much is this going to pull back? I mean, it could bounce here, right? You said this was the moving average, so it could bounce at this level. Yeah, this looks like resistance. So 286, is this around that? It's right at it, yeah. So you could have maybe took a bounce here looking at this potential support on the daily. Would have been a bit higher risk because this isn't really a clean pullback. This is more of a micro pullback. But you could have got a little bounce there. I'm just going to stay patient with it. I mean, this seems like a perfect storm kind of setup, but again, it just went straight up. There was a bunch of micro pullbacks this entire way up, but that's it. Stepping away until open. Good luck, everyone. I don't blame you, man. You have a good day, Skivon. Hopefully I don't throw the green day away. I mean, I'm only up 12 bucks. Today could certainly be a red day if I take one bad trade. We'll see how I mess it up. You sound more like Candyman every day now. I need to listen to him more. I genuinely, I mean, to me, I don't think I sound like him. But maybe I do. I don't know. I'll listen to him more after the stream, see. I haven't really compared his voice to mine or how he speaks to me. When I watch him later, I'll keep in mind how he talks. No, as far as production quality, his stream, in my opinion, and like this is just my take on it, but in terms of production quality, he has a much better production, right? He's got nice music. He's got, I mean, technically he's got like 4 more years of experience than I do trading. So he's got that leg on me too. It's unfortunate he couldn't find anything yet after all these years, but if he, I mean, I wish him the best, right? I hope he finds something that works for him. You like when he talks to himself? I've thought about talking to myself more, but I try to stay on topic because I am actually looking to try and make money, you know? So I don't want to get super distracted. If the talking points are relevant and there's nothing that I'm looking as far as trade-wise in the immediate vicinity, I don't mind talking more, but I try not to make this a very chaotic chat. Like, I feel like it'd be more distracting if you're trying to focus and I'm just talking constantly. I mean, I can ask you guys this out of curiosity. I'll get your guys' thoughts. Well, actually, I do want to watch this. This is pulling back more. Seeing volume. Well, no. These candles are still pretty high. Yeah, I probably shouldn't mess around with this up here. You're saying if it pulls back to 224, I mean, that makes logical sense, right? That's the quarter. I mean, you have, let's see, you have one support here. You've got two, really, right? You've got a lower support and a resistance here. So price struggled. I would say maybe a safer entry would be 224 to 206, somewhere in that range. So maybe you're looking at the upper end, Jay. On daily, what do we got? Yeah, even on daily, we have support here. Yeah, 224 seems reasonable. Yeah, I like that. If you wanted to be extra conservative, you could go to like 220 or 215. But 224 makes sense. I agree. Yeah, yesterday's high and the day before that, it bounced off of there. Right, so it was the low from 2 days ago. Yeah, it makes sense to me. That's if we would see a bigger breakdown. I mean, this could curl here, right? We're in a hot market. A lot of the check boxes for this being a good move check. So I think it's totally realistic you could see this make a second leg. However, I'm pessimistic because this went straight up. And I just feel like it could be very top heavy now. But hey, I'm sure the people that bought or shorted BNAI thought the same thing. And they're probably a bit surprised. All right, we're at the half hour. We'll see if any other stocks come into play that detract from these moves, or if we see nothing and these moves continue. GXAI still kind of just churning lower. ELOG, I'll check it out. Oh, we also got DEVS, so two stocks are popping up here. All right, so this has news. One bid. Sounds good. Mm-hmm. A lot of pressure at 160 here. I did try to get in there at 41. Didn't get a fill. DEVS also rolled over. So both of the stocks that had news here both rolled over. This one could still do something because saying they won a bid for a contract, that's incredibly bullish, even in this context. I mean, it was at $1 a couple weeks ago, so there is some downside risk, but I still feel like the odds are favorable. Spread is so wide on this stock. I wish I got in here 41. uh I was super close too. All right, I was literally on the bid for the low. Okay, bit of volume coming through here. Yeah, it's a bit problematic that this has moved up over the last several weeks. Not really getting a discount in terms of the daily chart. My thesis would basically be entirely that it's news driven. And the news seems decent, winning a bid. Okay, getting some volume coming through. The ATL new run. I can take a look at it. It's just really holding right now. You could be seeing it start to curl. It's definitely possible. Yeah, so we had some decent volume come through here. Realistically, though, this is only like 17,000. It's not a lot. I'm anticipating a bigger push down, though. So I'll hold my fire for now. Yeah, you're still having a spread of like 10 cents. With how big the spread is, if you're buying and selling at the spreads, that could be worth engaging with. I just really feel like it's going lower, though. Or at least the risk of it going lower is real. EVTV still going for new highs, so it's doing very well. A lot of stocks are holding up nicely today, it seems. I'm moderate green here so far. Don't worry, I still got time. I can lose it. Give me like another 19 minutes. I can lose it. I just need to find the right stock to lose it on. Yeah, I really was hoping this would have made at least another 10-cent move. Like, if we could have gotten, like, high 130s, that would have been great. The fact this is ranging so much, though, is interesting to me. Stop trading, you were green. Sometimes you just enter the wrong moment in the right stock. Yeah, that's very true, Durbin. That's very true, right? Like on Friday, where I entered one of my 2 losses I had. It was absolutely the right play. I timed the almost the very bottom. The reality is, though, is if you have risk management, sometimes you just get that unlucky scenario where you get caught in that final push down or something. Totally get it. Okay, we've been ranging here for like the last 15 minutes now. Okay. Like, are you just done? E-log. BATL curling. EVTV pulling back. Just looks like a very healthy pullback to me. Don't trade the rest of the week and end the week green. There you go. There you go. You've solved it. Why stop there, man? Just don't trade for the rest of the month or the year. Hey, I had a green year, guys. I made $50 this year. Genius. Yeah, BATL continuing to break out. Looks like it's curling very nice. We'll see if we get any follow through on it. This is a good start too, getting this high of a volumes push. Log. Yeah, I can't really touch this. This needs to do more. It's just been ranging. Yeah, OCG. This was just a complete pump and dump, so this one never recovered. BNI kind of pulled back and has been just holding. I'll definitely have to check on this one tomorrow, see how BNAI did, because how this one holds up is going to be critical. Captain is a trading addict. He needs his daily fix. I mean, I like trading, but I'll be honest, like, I'm not a very I'm a rather risk adverse person. So I don't really like risking that much. Like, I don't like holding for the bigger moves. I mean, if my strategy called for it, I would do it. But you could honestly say maybe that's just the designer too, because I've kind of crafted my strategy to be short and small bursts. But yeah, it's nice when I win, but I'm honestly more afraid than anything, because like I just know like there's a lot of headwinds you're facing. So I'm always wanting to be hyper picky with my trades. I don't really like to take them unless I have high conviction in them. And unfortunately, just on days like this, it means I miss a lot of these moves, like EVTV. This would be one where I would have attempted the front side trade, by the way. It's pretty rare I would, but this was something I was watching for this morning when I saw how everything was moving. I really wanted to see how a stock responded with news. And EVTV, since it was a former runner, that would have been one if I had been in a little sooner, I would have considered participating with reduced size. But like by the time I was really considering it, it was already like halfway through this move, and to me, it just looks so extended. Really strange how this stock is acting too. We're getting continual volume. Like this is still elevated volume relative wise, right? This is still very high relative volume. This volume hasn't died down. Want to switch more to swing trading, but hard to get out of the day trading mentality. Yeah, it's definitely different. In my opinion, it feels a lot better though, because there's way less stress, because I'm a very like fundamentals focused person. Like even with elog, for example, you can kind of see some of that bleeding into this. My main thing I was looking for, there were two things. First of all was the news catalyst is very good for this, right? They want to bid for some $1 million contract or something. And in addition to that, I was looking at the daily, and one of my big deterrents, which is why I wanted to wait for it to pull back more, was because value-wise, we're paying a premium, right? Paying 150 when the price was around 110, 120 a couple weeks ago. It felt like we were paying a premium. And a lot of that swing trading fundamentals plays into my decision-making here. So I think it helps me trade personally. But yeah, that's just my experience with it. And to be fair, swing trading is where I really make my money. Like, I make some money from day trading, but it's not nearly as much. Have you tried shorting small caps? I have, Mr. Noob, and it terrified the crap out of me. So I made money doing it, but I was just so stressed, and I didn't build a huge amount of strategy around it yet, so it was very surface level shorting. Basically, just trying to buy for the correction. But I'll tell you, the feeling of shorting something and then just watching it continue to go up is terrifying. At least for me. Now, if I were to try doing it, because I would consider doing it, because like I do believe there is an edge to shorting. Like I personally believe that most stocks that pop up do sell back off. Yeah, it's just there's a lot of things to consider with shorting. Do I have a real job? What do you mean real job? This is my job. So I quit my job a little over a year ago just to go full-time into trading. And I've been just using my profits, mostly from swing trading, a little bit from the day trading, but it's minimal, right? Like, before I actually started trading, and maybe I can get into this more at some point, but I did this strategy, and I would do it during the day session, like after market open. And I was trading with around 500 to 1,000 shares. Some OGs on this Discord server, they can vouch for that I did used to trade 500 to 1,000 shares. And I was averaging like 50 to 100 a day. So the day trading did bring in a lot more in the past. I'm sizing down for a couple of reasons, but we can cover that another day. Have I ever done a video about my swing trading strategy? No, I haven't. I wouldn't be against doing that. I would be more so focused on talking about the fundamentals rather than specifically what my strategy is. Because really, at the end of the day, all I'm doing is identifying small caps or mid cap stocks, not large cap, but small and mid cap stocks that are fundamentally underpriced. You have to be so strict and not stubborn with shorting. Yeah, Mr. Noob, you're absolutely correct. I feel, and what I was really experiencing was this danger knowing that if I screw up, right, if you're going long on something and you screw up, hold on, this is selling off. I gotta look into this. So 130s. Okay, still no news on this. Just sudden push down. Look at dailies. Yeah, so high 120s looks good. You could argue there's support here, but I think we might go a bit lower. Let's see how this acts. Okay, that might have been the bottom. It's 18,000. Sorry, I just didn't expect it to actually break down, but yeah, it looks like it's mostly stabilized. Yeah, based on the daily, I thought 127, 128 would have been a good entry. Had a low of 130, so I wouldn't have got filled anyway. Okay. Yeah, it is what it is. But no, I wouldn't be against doing a video on that. I don't know what direction I would want to go with this though, because this channel is mostly about small caps and documenting that. So I'm not sure how well me talking about swing trading would incorporate. I mean, so understanding the fundamentals of a stock is good for small cap trading too. So I think from that perspective, it's worth talking about. So maybe that could be something to look into. Do I have a family, wife, and kids? Unfortunately, I do not. In this economy, man, I mean, I want to one day, of course, but no, at the moment, I do not. I am single. How old am I? I am 30. 30 years old. Just turned 30 not too long ago. All right, well, we're coming up on the top of the hour. Not really seeing anything worth looking at the moment. BATL still pulling away. This has done a nice move back up to the highs. Yeah, one last call out. If there's anyone here who isn't watching, I am almost at 500 subs if I haven't passed it already. I would appreciate it if you'd subscribe if you enjoyed the stream. I do stream every day. 29 years old. That's right, little bro. Put the fries in the bag. EVTV pulling back a little bit more nasty here. Both EVTV and BATL pulling back. $29. Yeah, I was looking at my data analytics and I was surprised. Apparently most people, so it's like 99% of people that watch me are men. And a lot of them are like aged like 30 to 50. Yeah, you guys are babies. Okay, yeah. So I'm guessing you're probably one of the older, like 30, like 40 to 50s even. That's what I'm taking from that. Yeah, this might be on backside now. Heavy volume here on this candle, so I can't really buy into that. Yeah, this would have to pull back to like 280s. Yeah, mid 280s. 46. Wife and 2 kids. Man, I wish. Ofter's 18. Larry's 58. So we got a whole range of people. You're the baby. Yeah, no, it's good though. It's good. You've gotten into the trading space probably earlier than most of us. I didn't really get involved with the market at all until I was like 24, 23, 24. So yeah, you're getting in way earlier than I did. I think you will keep getting questions about your swing trading a lot. So if you have a swing trading video made, you can just direct everyone to watch it. Save you time in the future. No, yeah, no, you're right, Flip Flop. And considering I think swing trading, the fundamentals that I'm applying do transfer over to small caps a little bit. I think from that angle, it's worth talking about. So I might look into that. Maybe this weekend I'll make a video on it. 32 still don't know how to day trade properly. Man, I'm net profitable and I don't even feel like I know how to trade half the time. Right, like I had a capitulation like 2 weeks ago or whatever, so it happens and I've been trading for years. So I totally get it. NAMM. Getting some decent volume. No news on it. Just randomly moving up. I mean, it's a continuation play, but I don't really know how much I trust this one. But yeah, we're coming up on 9 o'clock here. I'll stay another 5 minutes after 9, like normal. See if we get any other stocks or setups that look valid. You made your first trade on the phone. Man, Larry, you are old. What the heck? I have to call E-Trade to make sure. To make a trade. Yeah, in 2001. UTV still pulling back. It's kind of consolidated here. Might be making another leg down now. Yeah, second leg down I'd be more interested in, like low 280s, maybe high 270s. Yeah, high 270s would be safer. This flush, I mean, it flushed about 20 cents. High 270s, low 280s seems reasonable. There is support there. Feel like a baby here. Have less than 1 year trading. I mean, look, dude, there's a, like, it's not about how long you've been trading. It's about the experience you get from it. Right? Even though I've been in the market for seven or 8 years, but honestly, my first few years, not few, maybe like my first 2 years, I was really just, to be quite frank, gambling. I was not really doing anything productive or meaningful. NVVE, moving, let's take a look. Enters into framework agreement with Capture Energy. Low float. $560 seems like resistance. Huge inflow. Seems like it's really struggling at this resistance. Perhaps top heavy. So we pushed below 5 and immediately recaptured it. Could be the micro pullback. Again, I'm just really worried because this went straight up. Right, it's already up 100% in 2 minutes. EVTV. Going back to where I was interested. I don't want to jump in immediately here. Volume is elevated. Need to be more patient because of that. Yeah, this volume's too high. It's not safe to buy this bottom. Realistically, I would need like 160 or 260s. Too high of a volume on the push down. Could be distribution. NVVE holding up really nicely though. Yeah, it sucks too, because on the daily, this is good support. But this volume is just too high here. Too dangerous. NVVE rolling over, perhaps. There was a lot of pressure up here. Looks like it might have failed. $420. Still pretty high volume even on the backside. Yeah, this volume's quite high. And even on this push up, look how much volume this had on the push up relative to the volume up here. This is very top heavy. I mean, it could keep going, but just like the fact that it's just shot up on such light volume. Continuing lower here. Nice recovery on that breakdown. Still feels very heavy to me. Seeing this backside have such high volume looks bearish. The news is okay though. Okay, it looks like we're finally seeing volume drop here, but it was on the bounce. Good morning. Late to the show. Snow slowed me down this morning. Yeah, no, it's super bad here with the snow. All right, well, we're trying to get 1 minute high here. See if it actually resolves or not. My biggest issue, again, is just that this initial spike was like on no volume. This just creates a big trap environment for anybody who was already holding. They could just sell here. So yeah, I'm still bearish on it. I mean, we did get the 1 minute high, so we'll see if this resolves into anything. Got some more volume coming in, but this could just be someone selling on the break. Really, it's going to depend if we continue here or if we just roll over immediately. My money is on that it rolls over. It's coming lower, but this volume isn't too high yet. Still seeing high volume. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be honest, this can go quite low. Gotta be real patient with this one. I'm targeting probably around 315, 325. Just looking at the daily support. And given how violent this is flushed. If I wanted to be aggressive, I could do like 340s, 330s, but I'm gonna be a little more cautious with it. Okay, it looks like it tapped 350 and is attempting a bounce. No, 346 was the low. Yeah, I still wouldn't want to buy into this. Could be a hidden seller here. In fact, we're not seeing a bounce after the recovery. Could be a seller. So my initial read here was right. This was a fake out. It sold off pretty hard. It's definitely more bullish now than it was before. Right, this is broken down quite a lot. But the volume's still elevated, and it seems like it's struggling to curl. So I definitely wouldn't say I'm bullish. I'm just less bearish. I'll give it like another 5 minutes, but then I'm going to have to head out here. If we see a further breakdown on low volume to low threes, I'll consider a buy there. Okay, so 46 was the low. Okay. Considering how this struggled for a good 30 seconds here before breaking out, I genuinely thought there was a hidden seller. We were going to just get pushed the whole way back. I mean, it still could roll over, but my read here that it was going lower was incorrect. Volume profile. We have seen the volume drop off, and this is actually the same thing as here. Maybe that's a red flag. So the volume dropped here on the one green candle, and we're seeing the same thing where the volume has dropped here. This could imply that there's just short covering. Yeah, we'll see. EVTV continuing lower as well. Looks like it's just on the backside as well. Problem with EVTV is that it had higher volume and then it consolidated for so long. This invalidates it a bit for me. What would I need to see for me to be interested in this again? Because we are quite extended, but it's so clear that there's selling pressure. Someone's clearly distributing. And they're doing it pretty aggressive too. They're not letting this thing bounce at all. It just feels too risky to get involved with, I think. Yeah, the better opportunity is NVVE. Yeah, 4 minutes of low volume. Significantly lower volume than the initial push. This still could just be distribution, though. Even though it did break through here. We haven't really been making attempts at new highs. There could be a hidden seller up here. Still bearish. This is Think or Swim for the charting. Let's see what we get here. That was a pretty clean breakdown to 3. It's really struggling at 3, though. And popped by a few cents. It looks like it's really struggling here. Okay, I'm just cutting it. I don't like that. No, it going down here to 3 on higher volume and then struggling for so long at 3. I don't like that. That was reduced size too. I thought I was getting in a little early here, so I wanted to get in immediately because this was a pretty drastic pullback to support. But I thought that me getting in on the higher volume was a bit higher risk, so I took reduced size on that trade. Curious how it's going to play out. So I got out at 306. Yeah, like this just looks so bearish to me. Try GXAI? What do you mean by that? I mean, I looked at GXAI. We watched it on stream earlier as it did its move. All right, but I got to get going here. I'm going to log this before I head out. And then I am going to head out for the day. Was there was news on this, right? Yeah, there was news. Okay. I'm going to say B- for this one. I recognize the volume is higher, but I'm going to say B because I did reduce size. No, that's fair. Yeah, I reduced size. That should be B. Volatility, very high. Give it a 7. Yeah, it's a very small winner, basically break even. And honestly, in hindsight, I'm glad I got out when I did, because this just, even after falling 60 cents here, this didn't bounce. I missed it by 4 cents. Appreciate you, live trade. Hey, I'm happy to be here. I hope you guys found this helpful. Just the community, being able to see my perspectives, right? Of course, this isn't financial advice, but it's nice to be able to talk with others. I do have a Discord server as well. Link is in the description if any of you are interested in that. If you're not subscribed, maybe consider subscribing. Do stream every day. And yeah, with that said, I'm heading